All right, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Madison Central School District. It's Monday, October 14th. Mr. Brooks will record the members present or absent. All members are present, so we have a quorum. Next, let's stand and pledge allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. First item on the agenda is item number 5, approval of the agenda. I believe we have no changes, so at this point in time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. So moved by Mr. Harmichael. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Kappeman. Further questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Declare that the agenda is approved. Next is our consent agenda, which includes agenda items 7 through 9. With the bills, Mr. Bundy and his magic glasses tonight was a part of the bill approval process. Mr. Nelson and myself, I don't believe we saw anything that Mr. Brooks couldn't answer. So we've got that. Our financials are out for everyone to see. We finished the health insurance year with what we had hoped we would do, so that was good to see. Mr. Jorgensen on to personnel actions.
We have resignation of Lori Waldner as high school office professional. That was effective 9/27/19. And then request to hire playground supervisors Aaron Fink, Mackenzie Hermanson, Alexa Robson, Autumn Steffen, and Jordan Thomas at $9.40 per hour. And then also Cassandra Krogan at middle school quiz bowl advisor, level 6, step 1 at $552. And Brian Keller is middle school cross country coach, level 4, step 1 at $1,718. And then we'll have, we're advertising for a middle school office professional as we had a reassignment from the middle school to the high school for this position.
Okay. So recommendation would be approve the personnel actions. With that, I would entertain a motion that we approve the items in our consent agenda, items numbers 7 through 9. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Mrs. Schultz?
Second.
Mr. Bundy? Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Declare that that's passed. Hearing of any delegations? Susan, you want to address us, or are you just here?
I'm just observing.
All right, very good. Thank you. Nice to have you. We don't often get visitors. There. All right, administrator reports.
We'll start off with the ASBSD regional meeting we held here last week. The board received their gold status for associate school boards that night. We had just under 40 people in attendance, and I'm sure those that were there probably heard the same, but I heard nothing but glowing reports and positives about the Pro Start class and meals they prepared. Again, they did a great job, so just wanted to make sure that I highlighted the job they did, and those that didn't get the spicy shrimp, they came out with other shrimp afterwards, which was good. For us non-spicy people, it was good to try that.
I must admit, I slept okay.
You did good. But no, they did a super job, and nothing but positives out of that. Currently, we have an open position for a middle school administrative assistant. We've been advertising for that. We'll start setting up interviews shortly. As always, we always look for additional subs, our bus drivers, or crossing guards, so if anyone out there is really interested, give a holler. Upcoming schedules, the 28th is what we have tentatively set for our board retreat. November 4th, there's no school, that's parent-teacher conferences, noon to 8 p.m. that day. And then we get to the end of Thanksgiving, and we have our Thanksgiving break from November 27th through November 29th. Policy review process, we had a good start to the policy review committee's work. They worked through sections B, C, and D. A little later in the meeting, we'll present the policies in sections B and C which committee recommends for a simple review date with no changes. A few policies with recommendations for first reading with committee corrections or changes. And then we have a few policies from last month that will be second reading and possible adoption tonight. We did meet with Education Heights representatives today and informed us they're looking at demolition to start on the old nursing home property about 2 weeks out. That's when they'll be starting on that. And then, I don't know if Mr. Farrell wants to add something, but when we're done here, I'm gonna have Mr. Shaw take us down to the aviation, and then Mr. Danny Frisbee Griffith is down there, is gonna demonstrate the new aviation simulator we have and take a quick look at that.
Mr. Brooks, you have anything? Mr. Shaw?
I do. I'd like to just touch base with the board. It's been about 2 weeks now, I suppose. We're running a pilot right now with Red Horse Seed Production and Mustang Seed with an apprenticeship. So we actually have a student that is essentially working full-time for Mustang. He comes in the morning and does his core required classes, and then he goes right to work on the A days, and then on the B days, he's there all day. So it's been a pretty good success so far. We're gonna run it as a pilot. I do think there's potential to grow it as we go. I've been wanting to do it for quite some time, and it's just, I had to have the right kid to test pilot it to see if it would work, and I got the right kid, I think, this time. So we're doing that. We're gonna get ready to start scheduling for next year already. We're gonna start looking at some changes and doing some things differently, and so we'll begin that process in November, and then we'll get the kids registered in probably February, and away we go. So already starting to look ahead, so lots of things going on.
I think it's exciting to have that internship opportunity going, and congratulations to both ends on that. That could be an answer to a lot of our students.
Very much
It is,
so.
and to the business community.
Yes.
Speaking now as not a school board member, but as a business.
You can take that hat off now,
Take
Mr.
that
Shaw.
hat off. I will say that Mr. Shaw's been awesome to work with, and I think it's a great resource for our business community. We are faced with, unemployment that's extremely low, and it's hard to find people. So we've been chewing on this for a while, and we found the right kid. So
Good.
I'm excited.
I believe he was in overtime already this
Yes, he
morning.
was, too. He was already in overtime. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna burn you out, but. So,
And
yeah.
I spoke with him on Friday, and he absolutely loved it. It's been a great thing for him too, so.
Okay.
so.
I have nothing else, so
You ready?
grab our partners and head to the airport. No.
Pretty much.
Excuse me.
Well, that might be the coolest tour we've ever had. Board meeting.
I think that beats the welding.
The welding class picks up the drones when they crash.
JD well.
I know my drone at home.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
busts
you're
up
right.
pretty good. And if you're
Or
doing
that-
so good, I'll say, oh. Same here. So when it's got the back soon, does it hurt our voice then?
Oh,
Right now, if you see your picture there,
okay,
that means you are
still.
live.
Okay. So it adheres.
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah, it hears you, yeah.
I think I'll just finish with, I want to thank Mitch and Joel, though. It is a commitment when we do something like that and an investment, but in the research articles I've read and CTE stuff, that pilots are going to become few and far between, so if we can start sparking their interest in a high school age, maybe we can track that as well.
I'm pleased with 11. That's
Yeah.
a good group of students to
Yeah.
go with. And I know you're up at Canby, that was one of the things that Dan Luchins was talking about, was how it really cuts across the entire curriculum. It's really almost a capstone type course that they have an opportunity to then go. And we found out the difference between the Navy and the Air Force. But thank you, Mr. Millage, for your attempts.
Oh, yes, you bet. Like I said, I work in catapults, not the actual
I'm
planes.
glad it was
so-
you and not me on that. All right. So we're on to item number 12, second reading of some policies. We'll run through these. We went through these last time. There were changes that were being made. And so the first one is policy BBFA, board member conflict of interest.
The changes on this one, just were to be in line with codified law basically and the amounts. And then, under 4D, that no longer exists. And 6 was reworded with the law, so these are all just updates to be conform with South Dakota codified law.
And I guess it would please the board, I think what we'll do is we'll look at all of them, and if we want to pull one out and have separate discussion, otherwise we'll look at managing the entire group together. Next one was BDDB, agenda format.
Again, minor changes, added at the beginning of the regular meeting, at regular meetings, the following will be the customary order of business. However, the particular order may vary from meeting to meeting, in keeping with business at hand. Just depending on what may be going on, it may have to change a little bit. We did add the Pledge of Allegiance, because that's on all of our agendas, so those are the 2 changes on that one.
Next policy is BDDC, agenda preparation and dissemination.
And the only change in this was simply to add, correct where the agenda would be posted, because it had an incorrect site before. Now it just talks about the school district site.
And then policy BFD, policy dissemination.
Same thing with this one, just add where the policy can be found. Again, just clean up.
And the final one is policy BFE, administration in policy absence.
And this one again was simply a cleanup because everything referred to he. We added he or his, we added she or her to all of them too. Otherwise, no change as far as the policy stuff.
So we had our first reading last month. I'll entertain a motion and then we can pull out and have discussion. So motion to approve BBFA, BDDB, BDDC, BFD, and BFE.
So moved.
Mr. Hanamakel has the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Questions, discussion on those, or any that you'd like to pull out for further discussion? We did first reading last month. Then all in favor of approval of all of those policies which I read, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We consider those then to have had their second reading and will now be in force. Next is a review of policies, and the first one will be just a review of policies. These were some that we went through as a policy committee and basically saw that there were not issues. We're just going to then indicate on them that they were reviewed at this particular date. So BFE is Board Policy Development. BFB is Preliminary Development of Policies. BFG, Policy Review and Evaluation, Manual Accuracy Check. BHD, Board Member Compensation and Expenses. BLB, Board Officers. CBA, Qualifications and Duties of the Superintendent. CBC, Superintendent Contract. And CBGE, Evaluation of the Superintendent. CBGR, Evaluation of the Superintendent. And CHCAA, Approval of Handbooks and Directives. And CL, Administrative Reports. As we went through those, everything seemed to be in compliance with practices and legal and other issues. So we're just indicating that we have reviewed those policies tonight. The final group is first reading of policies, and these are policies that we would recommend there be changes to. We'll do the first reading tonight, and then we will approve these at our November meeting. So the first one is BFC Policy Adoption.
And on these, they're all very minor changes, but on BFC, for example, the legal reference and replacement form policy, those don't exist anymore. So they shouldn't be on the policy because they are not part of the reference. 24030408 does not exist, it's been repealed. And the replacement form policy, that's from,
We have no idea
we don't even
what
know when,
line.
that's from a different policy manual from evidently years ago. So basically it's cleanup.
BFF Suspension of Policies.
Same thing, it refers to former policy 108. There is no policy 108, so again, it's just a cleanup.
BHB Board Member Development Opportunities.
And this one, the only change is the Prairie Lakes Co-op Board member in service. There is no Prairie Lakes Co-op Board member in service. So we're just removing it because it doesn't exist.
CBG Evaluation of the Superintendent and Other School Administrators.
As I read through this, it really refers basically to the superintendent, so, and other school administrators was struck out in 1 and 5, where it said school administrators, changed to the superintendent.
So those are the ones that we're doing those minor changes in and have a first reading, and we actually will take official action on those in November.
Correct.
With that, we're to item number 15, adjournment. Anybody want to make that motion, or you want to stay a while?
So moved.
Mr. Nelson's going to move us out of here, but I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Schultz. Further question? No, that's non-debatable. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.